Ooh.
Are we live?
Are we live? And are we in a new studio?
We are in a new studio.
Pow, pow, pow.
Still the Good News Radio.
It's still the Good News Radio, but we done upgraded, and it's nice in here.
It feels good. It feels fancy. Let's show them one time, Kelvin. Can we show them where we are just a little bit? Just give them
Real
a little
quick, just a quick little
little
glimpse.
glimpse of what we got going on. But we are
Wow.
Limelight Live, coming to you from the Good News Radio studio, the new studio. I like it. Can you guys see us?
Look at that.
Look, there's Kelvin.
Hi.
All right, we can turn it off.
Oh, yeah. Bye, guys.
But yes, welcome to the Limelight. And this is Limelight Light. I am Sharique LeMay.
I'm JPK, and tonight we are saying no.
Period.
Hit the music. No.
Step into the limelight.
Hey. All right, we're back. Did you guys miss us?
They have to miss us.
Yes, we took a hiatus.
Who doesn't
last
miss us?
week because we were getting our lives together.
We were getting our lives together. The studio was getting together.
Yeah.
And shout out to TJ and I see
let's
y'all.
give them applause.
Yeah.
Shout out to
Upgrades.
Keegan family.
Upgrades.
Love it,
I'm
love
here
it.
for it.
But yeah, so there's been so much that has happened
So much.
since the last time we were together.
In our personal lives, in
Everything.
the world,
Everything.
creatives.
People going crazy,
People,
as they seem to do.
Nick Cannon having another baby.
Is he?
Yes, child. Let me listen. And that's not one of our topics at all. I'm
Just
just
say
throwing it
no.
out there because a lot has happened. Like, ladies, say no to this
Say
man.
no.
Say no.
Eventually, the well is going to run dry. So,
Child. Whew.
but yes.
But I digress.
All right. Well, we're going to get into these flashlight topics. Let's do it. Shout out to your boy Kelvin.
Yep.
On the trigger finger.
Yeah.
Shut up.
So I'm gonna let's get into these flashlights.
Let's
I'm
get
gonna let you go with the first
So,
one.
first off, look at my shirt. Ow.
For those of you who are not watching,
Right.
JPK has an Aaliyah shirt on.
Yes. So today is August 25th, which marks 21 years since we lost our beautiful angel,
man.
Aaliyah. And I think, you know what? I don't think I'm like, for the most part, like our generation, like we're ever gonna get tired of, saying we miss her and rest in peace and all that, because she was just so celebrated. And we lost her so young.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's just always, it's nice to be able to still show homage to her because she's still so relevant and her music still lives. So anyways, shout out to Aaliyah and everyone else who passed on that tragic plane crash 21 years ago.
I know, and it wasn't just her. That's the thing. It was
Yeah.
her hairstylist. It was so many people.
It was friends of
I
hers.
can't believe it's been that long.
Yeah, I know, right? 21 years. It's crazy.
Sheesh.
She would have been 43 this year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Time
Yeah.
flies.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So, shout out to Aaliyah. Love you, baby girl.
Rest in peace.
That's it. And I wore my shirt,
Yeah.
from the Cell Title.
What's your favorite Aaliyah song? If you had to choose just one.
My favorite Aaliyah song? Just, you know what? I think I'm going to go ahead and say We Need a Resolution.
That's the one that's playing in my head
yeah.
right now.
God, I was about to say the same thing.
And that one I think is kind of underrated.
It is underrated. Because, but it was so futuristic. She wore this dress. She's like
She had the
levitating on that
snakes.
thing, the snakes. Then
Mhm.
the dance break at the end. Like she was going off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say that's probably my top one too.
That was a moment.
Yeah. And then she had some other ones that she had some features that were pretty cool too. She had a really good song on Genuine's album that I liked.
Yeah. She had a lot of really cool features.
Yeah.
Stuff that wasn't singles either.
Right.
I really liked her with DMX. Back in One Piece.
That was a good one.
Oh yeah. I know the whole thing. I'll be rapping it.
No. But speaking of the era, this gentleman is actually from the same era within the R&B world.
Yep. So according to that grape juice, Usher is embracing being called the king of R&B. He says, "I do own and deserve that, and that I'm the last of my kind." That's what he said, and I 100% agree. I 100% agree.
Okay.
I would say that the status of superstardom that Usher has from that era is unmatched.
But does it put him in the pop category?
And see, that is that's see, Mary J. Blige just brought
Mhm.
light to that. She's like, R&B music is pop music.
There we
R&B
go.
music is popular music. So
Okay.
regardless of however you want to label it,
Mhm.
Usher is R&B. And
Yeah.
I would 100% agree that he is the king of it. And
Okay.
he's very much alive. He's very much
Not in
still
jail.
doing his thing. The vocal cords are there. The mic is on. The moves are still moving.
And he's not in jail.
He's not in jail. Okay.
Hint, hint, hint. No, congratulations to him being. Who called him that? Actually,
I'm
who's
I-
saying that,
I'm
or is
not-
he just responding to all of the recent
well,
uproar?
yeah, I would say so because when Diddy incited this whole debate about R&B being dead,
Mhm.
that brought out people coming out the woodwork talking about like Jacquees and Chris Brown, and, like, but a lot of their individual fans have said that they are the kings of R&B, but
Okay.
in all reality, I really do think that title goes to Usher.
Okay. All
Mhm.
right.
He's alive.
I will be controversial
Yeah.
if we're talking about musically and impact on the R&B world. I would say he would probably be up there with the name we shall not speak because I don't want to get in trouble. Which is really unfortunate because
Mhm.
that catalog is extreme.
Mhm.
Funny enough, both of them were the first two concerts that I ever went to.
That's so funny.
So just
You can say his name. We talk about R. Kelly. Yes.
catalog wise, impact.
Absolutely.
He brought us
there's,
Aaliyah.
there's no denying that.
Yeah.
There's no denying that. I won't deny that. Unfortunately, his actions, his terrible actions, overshadow his talent. And
Yeah.
I can't rock with it.
We had a episode beginning of our run on the Good News where we talked about cancel culture, and it sucks. It definitely sucks because I was a hardcore R. Kelly fan.
Yeah.
So, but
I feel you.
is
Usher-
R&B dead though?
I don't think so. No, and I'm gonna put that argument to rest. It is not. Y'all are ridiculous. You can't. R&B is not dead when you've got artists. It might not. It might be a new generation. R&B might have evolved, just like all music has evolved. When you've got
Mhm.
artists like her, you've got Jasmine Sullivan, you've got Lucky Day, you've got Victoria Monet. Like it's evolved. Like what we've known to R&B has changed, and that's all right.
Yeah.
Like I would refute that R&B is not dead by any means. It just looks different.
Well, your boy Usher responded to Diddy's claims that R&B is dead, saying that the rapper's comments is Diddy a rapper? Comments make him sound nuts. Now, mind you, that's his boy.
Yeah.
And that's kind of who
'Cause he
really
does sound
elevated
nuts.
his status.
Mhm.
Last week, Diddy took to Instagram Live for a conversation with Timbaland on which he posted the question, "Who killed R&B?" Ooh, R&B is mother effing dead as of right now. The R&B I made my babies to, R&B got to be judged to a certain thing. It's the feeling though. Doggy, no, no, no. It's a feeling. You got to be able to sing for R&B and then you got to tell the truth. R&B is not a hustle. This shit is about feeling your vulnerability. I mean, that's a good point.
It's a good point, but I don't believe that there are artists that aren't doing that. You're just not listening to them, Diddy. You're in your 50s.
Yeah.
It's different, like,
Yeah, he gets a little bit more explicit, but he says there's certain emotions and certain things that came about with R&B back in the day that he doesn't feel as though it still happens. But keep in mind, back in his day, he was young.
Yeah.
You ain't young no more.
Right, and y'all was singing about different things, and there was a lot of problematic lyrics that would happen. Let's keep it all the way real. There were a lot of problematic lyrics that were happening in R&B in the 90s that I was like, actually, songs talking about I'll never love again, and yes, I will.
Okay.
To be
they was sad.
Right. Like, hold up. Have some ownership of yourself.
Well, Usher said there would be no hip hop if it were not for R&B. So it's blasphemous to hear him say, oh, actually, to hear people say anything, especially hip hop cats, to say anything about R&B. Go ahead, Usher, talk your stuff.
He stands as one of the best-selling artists in history with over 100 million total records sold worldwide and 9 Billboard Hot 100 hits, second only to Stevie Wonder among male R&B acts. So shout out. He's only 43 and he's still going. So.
Right. And you mentioned Mary J. Blige. She said she also appeared on Diddy's podcast, and she said you can't kill something that's in our DNA.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
she said it fair. She said it to his face.
Time will tell.
Virtually, but
shame on you, P. Diddy.
Oh my goodness.
Speaking of the music industry and what has everyone up in arms at the moment, have you heard of the name what is it? MF in Mecca?
So I was like, what is this picture I'm seeing? Is it a new cartoon? Is it a comic book? But apparently it's a rap artist.
Yes, Capitol Records is now apologizing because they got all kind of flack for signing a AI rapper by the name of FN Mecca.
And for those of you who don't know, AI means artificial intelligence.
Artificial intelligence, meaning supposedly it's not an actual person. It's actually using AI technology to produce the words and the lyrics and so on and so forth. We were just looking at his YouTube.
So this is a computer-generated artist.
Yes.
Everything from his look to his vocal.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And they put this out, signed a deal. Apparently the creator of this AI is a white man, and people were also very upset because it just was making a mockery of the culture.
Mm-hmm.
And he's white, and his AI is saying the N-word freely, and it's blasphemous. I think it's awful. And so I guess Capitol Records heard, and they said, we offer our deepest apologies to the Black community for our insensitivity in signing this project with.
We have a comment from Joshua Paul. He says the voice of the AI is allegedly a Black artist that got used for his voice and shafted. The
plot thickens.
The plot thickens indeed. And see, we're going to talk about people stealing from Black creators a little later too. Man.
Well, thank you for that information, Joshua, because that's ridiculous. And people were just upset. Like, who was sitting at the table
and thought this was a good idea
when they made this decision?
White people.
It wasn't there depictions of him. I read some of there were depictions of him getting beaten by the police.
Yeah, he talked about snitching. A lot of people felt like it's kind of a jab at Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Who's he snitching on? Siri?
Okay.
Alexa?
Y'all need to get y'all peoples, man. Like, who was sitting at these tables?
Not me, not us.
Yes, apparently. But CMG has severed ties with FN Mecca project effective immediately, the label noted in its statement. And they apologized. Is it enough?
No.
Shame on you.
What else could they even...
It's very culture vulture. It's very just completely insensitive. And I know that there are AI music artists, I guess, in the world, especially within like K-pop. That's a thing. And I do think eventually we may get there at some point.
Yeah, because I want to say that it does open the doors to a whole bunch of new creators that get to enter the space of music, like, graphic designers and animators and stuff. All right, cool. But then there's a caveat to that, because is that taking spotlight away from actual people who perform and sing and do music?
We have to see. There's a show. It's
like an Avatar show.
Yeah, the Avatar
I think it's on NBC or Fox, where basically they're singing, but
they're using an avatar to be on stage and perform. People who probably aren't as confident within themselves, I should say.
Yeah, I guess so.
But I think that's definitely going to be a big deal.
Yeah.
In the future. We're in the future already, guys, so y'all better get ready.
This is the future. Discover it.
Get ready.
I legit thought it was a video game character for a second.
I thought it was like a new comic book or a movie coming out, and I was like, it's an art.
Okay, so I found this. The Factory New co-founder Anthony Martini said in 2021 that FN Mecca was voiced by a human, but its lyrics and song structures came from AI. He was created using thousands of data points compiled from video games and social media.
Interesting. I don't know. Y'all giving robots a little too much.
Yeah. So
I don't know.
But let us know what you guys think. Are you here for AI coming into the music game? And are we gonna have any AI or R&B artists? I hope not.
I don't need them.
Okay.
I'm good. Moving on. So speaking about stealing from Black creators, shout out to Blavity for running this story, because I know the creative who was involved here, but no.
Yeah.
So shout out to my boy Lamont, aka Tori, Stapleton. He's a community builder. That's what he likes to call him. He's a community
that.
builder and creative. But basically, he says that Balenciaga stole his design.
Shame.
Yeah. So here's what happened. So he had this black crew neck with a font design that says "free" on it, right?
Okay.
And my homie, he's kind of a bit of a mover and shaker here, but like he does some really positive things with a couple of programs that he runs, but he's also pretty known in certain celebrity circles. So he went to this extremely private birthday party here in LA, and well, let me break it down to you. So the crew neck, like I said, he went to social media to tell his followers what inspired the line and what happened. And he's like, Balenciaga, we need to talk. He shared a video on Wednesday where he explains that he started his line, Struggle is Common, back in 2019 after losing a friend to a long battle with addiction. My goal was to remind people that they're not alone and to encourage them to face their problems head on if they truly wish to be free. After he released the black crew neck, he explains that he wore it to an extremely private birthday party in LA. It caught the attention of many celebrities at the event, and Stapleton recounted that it sparked conversations about the meaning behind his shirt. And so then he posted in the video people who from that event. And I mean, like he took pictures with Kanye, he was with the Kardashians, he was up there with folks. So then next thing, 3 years later, he gets tagged in a Vanity Fair video that features Diddy, who's now known as Love. Apparently he goes by the name Love now.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
What?
So he
That's
was wearing
old.
what Tory knew to be his design. He was the crew neck that said "free" on it. So people were congratulating him, and he said, but he was confused. He was like, I was sent this picture and I don't know. And then he's
so the homies, people who knew him,
yes, we're tagging him like, oh, they're wearing your stuff,
right? Okay,
including the baby. And so he said at this point it became apparent that someone had clearly borrowed his design, but he had no idea who. So then friends led him to the Balenciaga website that showed the brand was allegedly selling the exact same black crew neck as well as multiple variations of his design for up to 25 times the price.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah,
let's unpack this.
Let's unpack.
Question, because this is not my world. Within the fashion industry, are you able to trademark or have some sort of patent on your design?
Yes and no. It's really hard because honestly, if you look at, and I went to fashion school, everything's been done. Everything.
Yeah.
There are no new ideas when it comes to fashion. It's all recycled. It might be a new innovative way to do something, but I assure you 1000%. It's all been done.
Okay.
And we're talking back to like 50s, 40s, 30s, like
things
fashion has evolved. Yes, it recycles all the way. With the use of technology, you might be able to do new things, but to patent things, it's kind of tricky.
Right. You can trademark phrases and logos and such.
Yeah, exactly.
You can do that as your own entity, but it's very difficult to, say that you own a creative product.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's one. So then what can he do? Like, can he sue? Can he?
Does he
have any legal standing?
That part I don't know, but he has now brought it to social media. And what he really wants to do is he's making it known that he's like, it's not about the money. He doesn't care about the sales. He just wants to hold Balenciaga accountable.
Right.
He wants them to admit that they
appropriated.
They took from a young black creative.
Yeah.
And that's why the call out is there.
And that's a big deal because I know we all know Fashion Nova does it and Shein does it, the real fast, quote unquote.
Oh, it's Shein, apparently. That's how you pronounce it.
Really?
Yeah, Shein.
Womp womp, please.
I just found that out this week.
Shein, that cheap stolen t-shirt. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. We could do that. But yeah, so I think Balenciaga is supposed to be this, well-established, highly esteemed fashion house. Thank you. And for them to do that is very unfortunate. But it's like you have so many people that work there, right?
Right.
How do you know? How do you monitor?
Right.
this person may have saw him.
Yeah, whose idea was it to see? Like, what did? Yeah, it's
Right. Like, at what level could someone have stopped it? Or it mostly, probably a lot of them didn't even know.
Yeah.
It could have been just one or two people that did this on a very, lower level within the totem pole. So, wow. Well, shout out to him and best wishes to him. And I hope people go and buy his shirt. Are his shirts for sale?
Yeah.
Okay.
They are.
We'll find out. Support.
Yeah.
Support.
But that's the homie, so shout out to him.
Yeah.
In other news, speaking of fashion, but more so on a style, so reggaeton artist J Balvin. He is basically saying that he is unapologetic and he's saying no to gender norms through his fashion and style. He says he's basically saying, because if you see him on the red carpet, he does kind of wear some out there things, and he also knows how to subdue it at any given point too. It's just kind of his thing where he kind of fluctuates in that. He says that in a music genre that was historically known to be rooted in machismo, which is basically the Spanish word for toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
The look of reggaeton has really evolved over the years. He says, I'm not scared of wearing anything as long as I feel comfortable with it. If it's a mini skirt, I don't care. I'm going to wear it. If I see a cool bra and I think the bra would look good on me, I'll wear it. But it has to be authentic to how I feel. So I think he's just kind of, if he's moved by it, more like art, then he'll embody it on his body. And that's what he's trying to
I'm
convey
all for
here.
people expressing themselves creatively.
Yeah.
If that's what they feel.
To my knowledge, J Balvin considers himself a heterosexual male.
Okay.
So yeah, but I mean, hey, I'm here for it. He's a pop star. He's wild.
He can do what he wants.
Get it?
I mean, we all can do what we want,
right?
But I think we need to be cautious of those who do things just so that they can get a rise or get a reaction. And they're not being as authentic. How can you tell? You never know.
I don't know.
But shout out to him if that's what he wants to do.
Shout out J Balvin. You want to take this next one?
All right.
Because I know you were the one who got me onto this show.
Was I?
Yes.
Oh, applause for me. So apparently Netflix is saying no to the Umbrella Academy after the 4th season.
Yeah. So the upcoming season.
This upcoming season will be the final season, and they're saying no to more seasons, and I think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Because I like Umbrella. I like Umbrella Academy. I liked this last season.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I saw complaints.
Yeah, it wasn't my favorite season. I didn't hate it, but I think there were moments throughout the storyline of this past season where I was really frustrated with these characters and just felt like, man, they only resort to dysfunction.
I think that's the funny part about it. And it's very apparent that it's intentional, right? That they're doing it because you have these siblings that are fighting amongst each other, and then they have this dad, and I don't want to give too much away, but I thought it was a creative spin this season. In regards to what is her name, the female character?
Emmy Raver Lampman.
I think so.
Yeah, I think that
the sister.
Yes.
Well, she's the only sister.
Yeah.
Her
name's Emmy.
I get her character only because I get her why. Her why throughout this season was she was missing her daughter. And as someone who has lost a child, it hit me a little bit differently. Just like I said with WandaVision, it hits a little different when you can kind of identify with that person's plight. And so I thought that was, unfortunate that a lot of people were complaining about her character and how angry and upset she was. But if you look at mental health and what can trigger someone to really go into a spiral, to me, it seemed appropriate. Completely honest. Maybe they didn't have a deep enough discussion with her. I don't think they addressed her dysfunction. They didn't really address it. It was more like, why are you doing this? Why are you starting fights? Kind of thing. But I think that was a missed opportunity, if anything.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree 100%. In any case, the entire cast, including Elliot Page, Tom Hopper, David Castaneda, Emmy Raver Lampman, Robert Sheehan, Aidan Gallagher.
Sheehan.
It's not Sheehan.
Sheehan.
Not Sheehan.
Ritu Arya and Colm Feore will all reprise their roles, while additional casting will be announced at a later date. Netflix has also said, no, the showrunner Steve Blackman said that he's teasing an amazing concluding chapter. So who knows what that will be. But for fans of the Umbrella Academy, season 3 is streaming now, and look forward to season 4 next year.
I'm here for it. Netflix is saying no to a lot of stuff. Netflix needs to say no to a lot of stuff.
Well, speaking of saying no, because this made me mad, with the axing of the Batgirl movie, which was going to star the very first Batgirl of color, by the actress playing her, Leslie Grace, who was in the Heights
Oh,
film.
yes.
Yeah, and I really like her. She's very, very talented. So if you don't know, the film was basically scrapped, and apparently it was because of a tax cut. Everything that's happening with DC is kind of
interesting,
wild right now.
Right.
And the film finished. Production was,
it was
done.
done.
It was done.
So they just didn't pay no editors?
Listen, I don't know. So now the Warner Brothers lot is going to hold secret screenings of Batgirl for a group of insiders to get to see footage from the film before it is locked away in a vault.
That doesn't even make sense.
No sense.
None.
Yes, a select group of insiders will get to see the film during secret screenings. They're reserving those insiders for people who worked on the film, like producers, execs, and a few other creators.
What they're going to do is they're going to create this little secret buzz around it, and it's going to become a thing. And that's going to be what brings it out at some point.
That's the thing. So some people are speculating that, because this is the same thing that happened to Zack Snyder's Justice League. So,
which was great.
Yeah, really good. So they're saying that this could get the same treatment.
DC got to pull out some tricks.
Yeah.
All right, DC, we hear you. You're trying. You're the little engine that could and would. Because Marvel's killing the game.
But get us into that screening.
But yeah, definitely. We're going to go to commercial break, and we will be right back.
Let's into that screening.
But yeah, definitely. We are going to go to commercial break, and we will be right back.
Are you your life, money, career, or relationships? Most people are frustrated with how life is evolving around them. What if you could change one thing to turn your life into a different direction? Would you want the insight? How could you transform your life with intuitive awareness? Learn more. Get answers today. Book a free discovery session with Coach Zena, intuitive transformational practitioner. Go to www.coachzena.com or follow on Instagram, coach.askzena.
Hey, my name is Jasmine Sweets, and I'm so excited to be bringing you The Sweet Spot on TGN Vibes, Good Vibes, and R&B. Playing the old school, new school, and in between. I'm coming to you this summer. Stay tuned.
Yo, what's cracking, fools? It's your boy, Season Leo. Season Leo knows it all. Check me out every Tuesday at 1 p.m. right here on TGN Latinx, the authority in radio and podcast. Let's go, baby. And what? Fool, you don't like it? So what?
Sundays just got sweeter. The Hub Radio presents First Sundays Open Mic, hosted by Hub City Dre, DJ Gamma Ray, and the First Sundays Band. They're inviting all singers, rappers, comedians, and poets to show up and show out. Sign-ups begin at 6 p.m. Sundays Open Mic will take place every first Sunday of the month. It's just $10 before 8 p.m. and $20 after, so arrive early. The address is 1135 East Compton Boulevard. That's 1135 East Compton Boulevard in Compton, California. For more information, follow them on IG at First Sundays Open Mic.
Hey everybody, it's your girl Sharique LeMay, and make sure you are checking out Limelight Live Show on TGN Talk 7 p.m. every single Thursday. That's right, we're talking creative news and reviews and the best of it. Catch us then.
It's back, Jax. Have you heard? It's back.
Michael, what are you talking about? What's back?
The podcast pit. It is returning Monday, May 23rd. Brand new venue.
Oh my God, the podcast pit is back. Exciting. Where's it at?
It's going to be at Jackson's Daily at 7:30 p.m.
I know where that's at. That's at 11168 Washington Boulevard in Culver City.
So, Jax, will I see you there?
Oh, you know it, baby.
What's up, friends? It's IE and Friends. We're here at the Podcast Pit LA. It was so fun. We came to rep the IE. I think we did a pretty good job. So shout out to the Podcast Pit for having us. Shout out to TGN. You guys should definitely check them out. You should check me out, Saul V. Gomez.
Y'all can find me at I Know Caesar on IG. You can find me at airbear_IE on IG.
And you guys can find the podcast at IE and Friends on every social media network except for OnlyFans. That's coming soon. So stay tuned. So follow us and follow TGN Podcast Pit. Have a good day, guys.
Are we back?
We're back on the air.
You're back. I hope you enjoyed the commercial break.
Yes, and if you are just now joining us, this is Limelight Live on the Good News Radio. I am Sheree Clemay.
I'm J Pink K. You know what it is.
And of course, we got your boy Kelvin in the building. He loves that.
Oh, he just wants to give himself
And
applause. He
shout
doesn't
out
even want
to-
to say anything in the mic.
Yes, and shout out to Miku, who is also in the building.
Miku's always in the building.
What? Yes, he is.
Look.
Well, we were finishing up our flashlights because there were so many because
were so
we've
many.
been gone and
Yeah,
we
we
had
was
lots
catching
to
up.
talk about. And we have one more.
Just one more that I wanted to
Let's do it.
because I thought it was really cool because I feel like this is kind of nostalgic to something that used to happen on TV.
Oh yeah.
But 3 squads, 3 hours, 1 case. Do you watch Law and Order?
Yes.
Do you watch SVU?
Yes.
I haven't heard of this show, but Organized Crime.
Organized Crime is Detective Benson,
Okay,
who came back, and it's like his own
Got it.
spin-off show,
got it.
right?
So
Elliot.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, these 3 shows are going to do a super crossover event that will bring all 3 casts together. Like this is historic for TV, specifically for this genre. But yeah, 3 whole hours of all the teams on 1 case.
I started watching Organized Crime, and I think they already did some crossover with SVU and Organized Crime.
Okay.
Because Elliot just like appeared out of nowhere.
Gotcha.
Supposedly there wasn't. I think we talked about this on one of our episodes at some point somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of just disappeared.
Okay.
Like there was no like send off
Yeah.
to his character, and he was so pivotal for SVU. And honestly, when he was gone, I stopped watching because the dynamic between him and Olivia, was that what it is? Yeah, the 2 main characters was so great.
Yeah.
So Organized Crime, it actually was kind of good. And when I started watching a couple of episodes, I just didn't get into it. So I kind of sensed that something like this would happen.
Yeah.
And I'm here for it.
Yeah, I think this is cool. Like this reminds me of like the Disney Channel used to be really good for this, where they were like crossover some of their shows together. Like I remember they did like a Hannah Montana meets the Sweet Life on Deck crew or something. And I'm like, I remember TGI Fridays used to do sometimes crossover events with their sitcoms and stuff.
I was gonna say the most recent one I've seen was Flash.
Oh, in the Arrowverse, yeah.
In Arrowverse, they all had like when you go to watch it on Netflix, you go to different shows to see the episode. Before.
Or when
that was
How to Get Away with Scandal, when Annalise Keating met
I didn't watch
Olivia
that,
Pope.
yeah.
Oh, that was.
And I mean, Law and Order gave a lot of people, some clout.
Yeah,
actresses and actors because definitely. Viola Davis. Viola Davis had a lot of roles in SVU. She played a lawyer.
Yeah.
So she was a major defense attorney on this show. So I'm curious to see if they're going to bring some people back. Or that's what I would do.
Yeah, definitely. I love when TV does stuff like this.
Yeah.
This is like it's like epic. Like you watch TV and you see something like this is just fun. It's cool.
Yeah, because is TV dead?
I hope not, because I watch a lot of it.
And when I say TV, I'm saying like network shows,
primetime broadcast
to streaming.
I would say no. I think maybe
Abbott
our
Elementary is thriving.
Huh?
Abbott Elementary was thriving. That's on network TV.
Yeah. I would say no. I think the broader population still has broadcast. Like my parents do still.
I said that baby boomer.
Right, yeah,
don't come first.
But it's fine, If you want to catch the crossover event, it's happening Thursday, September 22nd from 8 to 11 p.m. on NBC, and it will air the following day on Peacock TV, which I have Peacock, so I don't even watch these shows, but I feel like this is something to tune into.
Shout out to Peacock.
Yeah, shout out to Peacock.
But shout out to Paramount Plus.
Hey.
I have to do that.
You absolutely do.
It's in her contract.
Which is the best out of all of them.
Yes.
Ever. Okay.
Anyways, okay. Now that was the end of flashlights.
Our flashlights.
Yes, thank you, flashlights. Music. Boom. All right, let's get to the nitty gritty because I got some things to say.
He got some things to get off his chest, child. Let's get into
All right.
it.
So the spotlight of tonight.
Yes.
When creatives say no.
Mhm.
All right, so let's get into this. More often than not, we have to use the word no to decline things. Whether on a daily basis or not, this is a normal word for all of humanity. In the space of being a creative, especially the gig hustlers, a personal battle tends to ensue throughout your creative career journey. It leaves many creatives struggling when to say no to things or when to accept and say yes. Learning how to determine what creative gigs and moves will actually benefit you can be a tricky thing and can have serious repercussions if not thoroughly thought out. Saying no is also a way to set a boundary, whether professionally or personally, or especially in instances where it's both. We all must learn the art of saying no.
All right.
This is something that's happened in my life recently a couple of times where I've realized one instance where I should have said no and I
Yeah.
committed to something where I shouldn't have, and another scenario where I did say no, and because I did, I got pushback from the other party.
Wow.
So, I was like, it kind of had my gears going on, a topic for the show and what to talk about. And I'm like, you know what? We don't talk about saying no enough. And
Mhm.
sometimes we operate, especially as creatives, we might operate in spaces where we kind of can't say no to things. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I mentioned earlier, the gig hustlers. Like
Yeah.
if you're working gig to gig, sometimes you're not in a space to turn down a gig, even though you might be overworked and underpaid.
Yeah, and
And
then
I've been there.
it gets to the point where it's like quality over quantity
Mm-hmm.
because you're saying yes, your capacity is
Yeah.
is dwindling, and
Yep.
then thy cup not runneth over,
Okay.
so to speaketh.
Yeah. So I want to ask you, Sharik, before I share, I want to ask you, could you share an experience where you wish you had said no to something and you didn't, and then looking back at it, or even while it was happening, you were like, I shouldn't have taken on this project?
Damn, no, I can't think of anything.
Really?
I honestly can't think. I can
Get
think
out.
Of, I can think of so
you don't
many
even need to be on
times-
this episode.
I can think of so many times where I've just flat out been like no, or the situation just kind of ended up not happening anyway. That usually happens.
Okay.
So maybe that's probably times I should have said no. But then at the same times when things play out, I don't know who you pray to, but my God is going to make things happen the way it's supposed to happen. And I don't necessarily have to say no.
Yeah.
That's not a cop out. I am a people pleaser. That's something I'm talking to my therapist about. Okay. But at the same time, I just have this faith, like this immense amount of faith. Like if this is really meant to be, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And so if it doesn't happen, it's usually not because I say no. But as of recently, I definitely have been saying it.
Yeah.
Not right away, but once I kind of gather my ducks in order.
Yeah.
Like recently, I said no to a client.
Yeah.
And it was just because I knew that this client was very particular and it was just going to be too much for me and my team to deal with. And I didn't want the stress.
I feel you.
And I'm in a position where I can say no, I can afford it.
Okay. Yeah. I remember, so back when I was doing publicity and I was doing PR for 8 years, right?
Shout out to all the publicists.
Ooh,
Let me just, I'm sorry to cut you.
Shout out to them.
Because that there's a lot of y'all that need to say no.
Mm-hmm.
But I digress.
So, back when I was with an agency, it was kind of like, the clients filtered in and I just worked on, various accounts that way. And if there was ever a scenario where like, I really don't want to work on this account because like maybe it didn't align with my interests or something, I could speak up and say that. When I went independent, right? And I left the agency life and I started working freelance doing PR. It was good, but there were these moments where, people would present themselves as potential clients, but they were like trying to nickel and dime me, undercut me in various ways, and demand so much. But because of the nature of where I was at financially and the nature of the work, there were often times where I was like, man, I am not in a position to turn down any money.
Yeah.
And so I do remember taking clients on where by no means did I benefit from it. Was it even worth it? It was like, because the demand, oh my goodness. This is something that I've known to be true. The lowest paying customers have the highest demands. They usually want the most. They want the most.
Can you say it
delivered.
one more time for the people in the back?
The lowest paying customers usually have the highest demands.
Mm-hmm.
And that it was proven to me time and time again. And I was like, man, is this what life is? You know, there was a music artist in particular, and it wasn't so much the music artist, it was the manager. The manager was my client, and you know, he hired me as a publicist to handle some PR efforts for an emerging artist. And I mean, he was starting to ask stuff that wasn't even in the contract to retain me. And when I tell you, this was the lowest retainer, I mean, I basically did it for free. It was the lowest retainer I've ever done. The expectation of what they wanted from me versus what they were paying me was disrespectful. And I couldn't blame nobody but myself, because I said yes.
Yeah.
I drew up the paperwork. I said, you know what, I'm gonna do this. I'm helping out a friend, like, because it was through a referral. Like, I was trying to, like, do a friend a solid, but I shouldn't have did it. I shouldn't have did it, because I remember during that time feeling so stressed, and I remember overextending myself and working way past the hours that I would have allotted to the bit. Like, honestly, what they were paying was equivalent to 2 weeks of work, and they had me on a contract for 4 months.
Ooh.
I ended the contract.
Okay.
I was very unprofessional about it. I was like,
I was going to ask.
Yeah, no.
Is it so then it's better to say no in the beginning than to try and say no later.
Right.
A lot of the time.
Yeah.
So
because I want to have a level of decorum professionally, right? And with PR can be kind of shaky. And you want your clients to trust you. But I had gotten to the point where I was just like, none of this is worth it. They could badmouth me if they want to. I was like, I'm done. I'm done. There was still 1 more month for me to complete. I severed ties. I ghosted them. Like, I was like, I'm not doing this. They got, and mind you, I delivered. I gave them the deliverables that I had.
Did you feel appreciated in any way?
I mean, I think there were moments, like, they would say thank you, and I think there were moments where they would get excited by some of my deliverables. But again, in order to really see results in that industry, in that world, you have to pay people, because it costs money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The labor of hours it requires me to create a deck and to pitch that, the hours that I have to take to research, the journalists and media publications to even get you placed somewhere. It's a different ball game. And when we're talking music, totally different ball game. Music PR is very different from anything else. So if you're talking lifestyle, sports, entertainment, very different. Music has its own thing, and a lot of media, for example, so for my regular clients, lifestyle clients, I get earned media, meaning I get media placements through my relationships, whereas with music, a lot of it is paid media. So it's like, I was like, how do I garner earned position, especially in hip-hop, how do I garner earned placements when that's just not how they do it? You got to pay for all of them.
Wow.
It was a challenge in itself. And I remember thinking, I will never take a gig like this again. Ever. It was my last. I said, nope.
I think PR makes a lot of people say that.
Oh yeah.
In general.
I did my 8 years. I'm good now. I'm glad.
I said no to the career very long ago.
You did your time.
I did my time. It was out. It took me about a full year to be like, nope, this ain't it. But for those who are good at it and make it work for them, kudos to you guys, because you guys at times you are miracle workers and career creators, honestly. So it just wasn't for me.
And let me just say, I was good at it.
You were.
Still am.
We met in that world.
Yeah, we did. I was exhausted. I was like, But yeah. Okay. So now answer me this then.
Yeah.
Have you ever gotten a negative reaction from someone after saying no or declining a project?
I mean, it's the usual, like, oh, all right, kind of thing. Like, just maybe they understood, maybe they didn't. This most recent one, it was just like kind of just flatline, like dead. But I try to, like you said, decorum is a thing. I try to still be positive and try to get them to see in a positive light, like, hey, this may not be the best option for you. I'm trying to help you out. because maybe you're not prepared like you think you are. And that way I don't look bad, you don't look bad, because I definitely don't want to look bad.
Yeah.
You know, anything I put my hands on and my energy, my effort to, and my team, I look out for my team. You know, sometimes even before myself, I care about my team. I'm not going to do that. So it's, for the most part, it's been all right. There was another situation that I was involved in where there was a no, you know, and we kind of wrote it out.
Yeah.
Wrote it out just to see what would happen. And then that's why I asked you that question. Like, in time, things will reveal themselves. And that's with friendships, relationships, and everything else. Like, sometimes in time, things will reveal, because sometimes you may not know if you do actually want to say no.
Yeah.
Because there's that FOMO maybe, or there's the, you know, still the belief that you may have.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't know if I want to say no. It's looking like this, but who knows?
Yeah, who
I
knows
could be
what this
getting
could
tested.
connect me to, or
Exactly.
like, you know, what would this expose me to? It's a slick slope.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's no guidebook for it, for whatever it is that you're trying to get to. So, like I said, sometimes it just has to reveal on its own. But that clear, defined moment that tells you no will come at some point.
Like I mentioned before, more often than not, my reluctance to say yes to things usually came from need, right? Like, I kind of just needed it. Whereas where I'm in the space now, and I'm thankful for the space that I'm in now, you know, I'm a professional. I have a stable gig with a company that I love, and I'm still actively a creative, and I'm cultivating creatives underneath me. Wonderful gig. Sometimes, not gig, I'm sorry, wonderful career. Sometimes when people who transition out of the freelance world into that still have a gig mentality. And that's what happened in a case. Well, I'll share it in a minute, but you know, I feel like that happens where you still think you have to do everything.
Yeah.
And you actually don't. I have acquired a certain level of peace in my career now that feels wonderful. Where I still was thinking, oh, I should take this project and this project. I don't have to. I don't have to.
One more time for the people in the back.
I said what I said. I don't have to. You know, and that feels really good.
Yeah.
And if you might call it selfish, you know what? I'll take it if that's what you want to call it. But my peace is wonderful, because I have, for the most part of my career, overextended myself for everyone. I've helped everyone else achieve their dreams. I've helped everyone. You know, I've bent over backwards to help reach everyone else's goals.
And you know what's funny about that?
What?
When you become that person that's known for saying yes all the time, when you do say no, it's a big deal. And people make it such a big deal. Like, what?
Yes. Which happened to me recently.
Oh, do tell.
So a long-term friend of mine. Okay. This is a person that I know from back in Louisiana.
Oh.
She started a business. Well, she's had this business for a while, but essentially she's elevating the business and you know, scaling it. And you know, there's an app and there's a number of variety of things. And she really wanted me to help her. She was like, I really need help with my business plan. I need help with marketing. I need this and da 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 da. And I was like, in my head, I didn't say it like that to her, but in my head, I'm like, girl, I'm not doing that. I'm not.
You had that gut feeling.
I just knew it. And I was like, she's asking me to build her dream. And I've been building dreams for people my whole life.
For other people.
And now I'm for other people. And now I'm building mine. So I agreed to meet with her. And I agreed. And what I did was I said, let me give you the resources to do this yourself.
Yes.
Because I can show you some shortcuts that you have probably had no idea, just because of the industries and background that I've done. Right. And because I've managed to be able to do this for other businesses. And I know how to cut corners effectively.
Okay.
Right. Not cheating the system, but being smart, not working hard, working smarter.
Right.
And I gave her a number of resources and a number of contacts. I even
that's
said,
money.
Yeah, it's money. I was like, I'm not to save you money, because I didn't tell her this. I was like, but you can't afford me.
Oh, yeah.
You know? Hey. And so she was upset. She got emotional. And she was expecting me to take the reins
Wow.
and really dive full force for her business. And I was just not in a place to want to.
Mm-hmm.
And that, my friends, there's nothing wrong with that.
But you know what though? You giving her that no could, I'm saying could, could and should motivate her.
I hope it does.
And hopefully she can bounce from that and come to you one day and say thank you.
Yeah.
Because this is what I learned and this is what happened and it ended up being the best thing for me.
Yeah.
So
I hope it does, because I hope she wasn't hurt from it. Because I really needed her to understand I do not have the capacity to help.
Yeah.
I have too many things going on. I've got my full-time gig and I've got this show that I love doing with you, Sharik. And we invest and we put our time into
Kelvin,
this and
yay.
yes, and you, Kelvin. And your boy Kelvin. But this is our baby. And now
Yeah.
I'm investing my time and my energy in this. And let me just be transparent with y'all. We don't get money from this. We don't. But we truly enjoy it.
Mhm.
We created this, right? And I should be allowed to invest the energy and time that I want to invest into my thing.
Exactly. And then on the other perspective, as the client or the friend or whomever, do you really want somebody working with you that doesn't have the capacity that you need to really give you that attention?
Right. No.
To really nurture what it is
Yeah.
that you're trying to
It'll
create?
show itself in the work.
Absolutely. You'll end up being even more frustrated
Yeah.
in the end.
And it ends up being more expensive.
Yes.
Because what ends up happening is
You work forward and work backwards.
Yeah, the relationship dissolves, steps get pushed backwards, and then you're having to pay for fixing all of that and getting it, re-strategizing. I'm telling you.
That's my biggest thing.
Yeah.
That is what I say to everyone, even when I was doing my job interviews.
Mhm.
My pet peeve is working forwards to work backwards and work forward again. Like, I do not like doing that. And that's a part of why I like to be efficient and very logistical, because it wastes time.
Mhm.
It wastes time, and time is really all you have in whatever career that you're in. And so when I see it as a consistent thing, I try to nip it in the bud. And speaking of gig mentality, there's even corporate mentality where people feel like I can't say no because this is my job.
Yeah.
Because I have a boss.
Mhm.
I report to these people.
Mhm.
And for me now, in my situation, being in this majorly corporate setting, I'm learning to find my voice
Mhm.
now that I'm a little bit more situated. It's almost been a year.
Mhm.
Goodness. And I'm learning to say no. I may not flat out say no, but I may have to find alternate
Corporate
courses
clapbacks.
of action.
Corporate clapbacks.
Pretty much. I may have to explain certain things in a
Mhm.
different light, in a
Mhm.
different way, and certain things I'm learning, especially as a producer, because I have so much writing on me. When things go bad, it's my fault.
Yeah.
So I have to be able to say no, even in this setting, and I have to be confident within my knowledge and my capabilities and my experience to back it up full force. And that's one thing that I think people can take away as well, is not even just a gig mentality, it's corporate mentality too, because you think you have a boss. And you really still are your own boss at the end of the day.
I'm going to share one more story, and this is what I'm dealing with now, which got me to light bulb.
Okay.
Right? The spotlight hit, and I agreed to a gig. And in the middle of it, I realized I shouldn't have, because I was trying to support a really good friend. And I realized me working for you doesn't mean I'm supporting you.
Yeah.
I can support you in other ways.
Yeah.
I realized I should have said no to this. I feel overwhelmed, but I've committed to it now. And, and I had to bring it up. I had to say, I'm overwhelmed. Something's got to give. We're going to have to look at what this relationship is now.
Yeah.
And I realized in that moment, I was like, Joshua, you are good. You are blessed. And you're in a space now. It is time now to.
You is important.
You is important. I was gonna say another dynamic is saying no to something that you've said yes to many times before. That is, I think, what you're dealing with that situation.
Yeah.
I think I can probably say I've dealt with it before, when you've said yes to something, and even if it's not working out, it was working out before, but you see it not working out. It can be hard to say no to something you've said yes to many, many, many times.
Yeah, like me getting coffee for Josh. I said yes once, and then now I'm his coffee guy.
You only did it twice.
Yeah, that's more than once.
I was tempted to ask today, but I didn't.
Where's my popcorn?
Okay. Ooh, popcorn.
But yes,
You brought up something really interesting earlier today,
Mhm.
when you said when you have to say no to yourself.
mhm.
Ooh, speak on it, girl.
Just knowing, like, most of this is about capacity, right? Let's
Mhm.
just be honest, because
Yeah.
we do so much.
Yeah.
And I always have these big ideas and I always have these things that I want to do. And I'll give you an example. So right now I'm working on my documentary, which is about gentrification.
Mhm.
I was asked to help produce another documentary, which was about womb health. And I said to myself, I want to make a documentary about making documentaries, making 2 documentaries at the same time. Like,
No.
no.
No, girl.
But I was like, it was really in my mind and it was really something that I was really thinking of hardcore. And I'm like, girl, what is wrong with you? And I had to like tell myself, Sharik, no, you don't have the capacity for that. It would be dope, maybe, and somebody don't steal my idea, okay? But because I just was like, I mean, do you make a documentary about making a documentary? I thought it might, I don't know. But nonetheless, I think if something were to happen in that light, in that realm, it just would have to happen organically. I
Mhm.
can't put too much effort into it because then that's going to take away from the projects that I need to put
You saw
all of
where
my
to pull
energy.
back the reins.
Yes, I had to pull back the reins on myself a lot,
Uh-huh.
a lot. And I think I confuse it with being lazy at times
Mhm.
because I want my rest. I want to decompress.
You want to enjoy life?
I want to enjoy my life. And honestly, I'm 34 years old. I've been in Los Angeles since 2008. The hustle is hard.
The hustle is hard.
It is exhausting.
It is exhausting.
So,
And when my day ends, I love being able to shut this laptop down, right? And then completely disconnect
yeah,
and do whatever I want to do.
we've earned it.
We've earned it.
We've earned it.
Right now, what I'm dealing with is my day is ending and I'm going to shut this laptop down. And oh, no, I can't. Now I've got to just change the screen because I'm putting on a different hat. I don't want it.
But yes, but say yes to your peace first.
Absolutely.
Say yes to your sanctity. Say yes to enjoying your life. Like you said, we only have this one life to live. So you can't use it and wasting it up. But I thought this was a good topic. Thank you. This was great. Got to get some things off my chest. But make sure you are following us, Limelight Live Show, on all of our social apps, as well as the good news. Make sure you're downloading that app, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.
Bye.